Thank you. Hi, I'm Dave Harder. I'm the county manager. I have the pleasure of introducing our commissioner. But before I do that, I want to say a little bit about her. Her first few weeks, one of the things that she did right off the bat was she started to do things all around the county. So she went all around the county in her first few weeks to hear what everybody had to say and what their concerns were. And then she brought that back to strategic planning with the board to address all these concerns. And she made a promise when she was out there that she would continue to do this, that she would continue to come out to the community and listen. I think she's already made a promise to try to do this meeting specifically quarterly. And that's just the type of person that you're dealing with tonight. So I think you're really going to enjoy her. We have the pleasure of working with her every day. And that's our wonderful Commissioner Petrosky.
Thank you so much for that warm welcome, and thank you, Dave, for the introduction. If you don't know who Dave Harder is, he is our county manager, and he is just truly, he's what helps us, the county commissioners, keep the wheels turning. So we give the executive order, and he implements it. So thank you for all that you do, and it's also a pleasure to work with him. His heart is gold, and he's worth his weight in gold, truly. Same for my friends back there, Mark Mora and Rob Price. They are also part of the team. Rob Price, if you don't know, is our Director of Transportation for Lee County. And then Mark Mora is one of our deputy, oh my gosh, I'm going to butcher this. What is the specific title? Because he's over a lot of things. Assistant County Manager, he oversees our parks and recs, he oversees our libraries, and there's probably, I think also, the DCD and utilities. So he's got 4 different departments he's overseeing right now. So brought a lot of brains for you so we can dig in and get more information, anything you want to know more about. But I've got a presentation here for you today. Before we get into it, I just wanted to introduce a little more about myself. I am a 7th generation Floridian. I'm from the other coast of Florida. I moved here about 15 years ago. I was 20 years old. I visited with a friend, and I remember the first interaction I had with a stranger was on the beach. They made eye contact with me, and they said, hello, good morning, and I looked behind me to see who they were talking to. That's Lee County. Lee County is just so warm, so welcoming, and I knew right then and there at 20 years old, I said, this is where I want to build my life, because this is the nicest, most beautiful, pristine. I mean, I'm walking the beaches. That sells itself. It was just, it felt like home, and everyone embraced me immediately like home. I could see raising my kids here. I didn't even know my husband yet. I didn't meet him till later on. But I just knew, I was like, this is somewhere where I can build a real future, and where my kids can go to great schools, and where I can afford to live the American dream. Where I was at, I was being pushed out. You couldn't afford to buy a house, let alone rent an apartment. So it was just the warmest welcome, and I've come to love this area with all of my heart, and I want to protect everything that we are and everything that we're going to be, and create a sustainable future, so that the one that I walked into 15 years ago is the one that my kids will still have, and their kids will have. So that's my whole passion of being involved. I want to be involved with the communities. When I say I want to come out quarterly, I really mean it, because I know that, honestly, I'm saying Rotarians, if I'm butchering your name, I'm sorry. You guys are the ones that are in the community. You're listening. You're getting the education out. You're helping your brothers and sisters out there. And it's really, truly, some of these values are being lost, and I'm grateful for the work that you're doing and that you're continuing. So I would love to come out quarterly, keep you guys updated on current events that's going on in the county, hear from you what's going on in the community, what are the needs, and how can I help you get those things across, because I'm no nonsense. I hear a need. We're going to match the resource. We have it. I've seen it. We've been going in there. We've been doing briefings, and I've seen the resource that we have, and it's my job and it's my honor to match those needs and resources. So please just call me or email, whatever's easier. Pop in my office. I don't care. I'm here for you anytime. So without further ado, it's a big one. It's very exciting. If you have questions along the way, please raise your hand. I don't want to waste your time. So I'm sorry. I was just really excited. I put a lot of things in here for you guys. So this is the kind of makeup is, if you don't know, we're the Board of County Commissioners. There's 5 of us that we represent 5 different districts. So our district is District 5. So that is Lehigh, Alva, Buckingham, Olga, North Olga, parts of North Fort Myers, parts of Tice. So there was a bunch of us. I would think, and Derek and I were talking about this today, I think out of all of the districts, we have the largest land mass in all of Lee County. So woohoo to us. That means we have a very bright future, which I'm going to be excited to tell you about near the end. So, but there's the 5 of us. So no, it's okay. The Lee County budget. This is the big part of what we do on the commission. There's other things in place, but one of the biggest things we're doing is building the budget for the county. So we have our budgets, municipalities have their budgets. So you all fall under unincorporated Lee County. So you fall into our budget. So as you know, some of your services may fall under Lancet. You may have some like MSBUs. That's going to be different. But this is the Lee County budget for fiscal year 26-27. As you know, everybody's kind of holding their breath right now, waiting and seeing what's this tax reform that's coming through. So we're right now practicing, putting in some practices, preparing ourselves, like what are the scenarios that we may see and how do we want to apply it? What's that going to look like for the future? What are all of the options that we have? Because, you know, we don't want to just have one. We want to make sure we have all of the options at our fingertips ready to go if the trigger gets pulled. So I'll go back to that, sorry. So for this year, though, moving forward, because we don't know the certainty of it, we're building the budget. So right now, we're already building the budget for the 26-27 year. So we have given direction to staff that we're going to operate with flat budgets, meaning the same thing you asked for last year is what you're going to get or less. So if you have, you know, area for room to cut, then yay. But we are not doing any increases this year. So that's going across we're sending the message out to our constitutionals, all of our departments, that we're going to just operate flat. And then we're going to kind of adjust and see where we go from there with this tax reform and to be determined. So maybe that will be at the next meeting, that one. Oh, and just a quick one. Our operating budget really is about $3 billion we work with every year. So as we talk about some of these other conversations, you'll really start to see, oh, wow, this is interesting. So inflation is real and alive, and it is in your infrastructure. So our tier 1 project is about $2 billion. So, and we have in 1 year to spend $3 billion and provide all the services that we're doing, which I'll go into and you'll see what all they are. So our capital improvement projects, these are the ones that we have coming online or they're already in progress. We have in the different departments, we have Parks and Recs has some capital improvements coming up. Our DOT, if you haven't noticed, has capital improvement projects coming up. Our utilities, where you're adding another facility, another plant. Lee Tran, if you don't already know, we just launched our newest area of, it's called Mobility on Demand, the Ultra. It is a to-your door and anywhere you want to go transportation service. So if you are ordering, it's kind of like an Uber, but it's affordable. So if you order it to your door and you need to go anywhere in Lee County, it's $3. If you go to any of the main artery lines of transportation, so you go to a Lee, transfer station, that's only $1.50. So, and you can schedule these out as far as you need. So if you need to go to the airport, instead of paying Uber $30 to go to the airport, you can pay $3 and go to the airport. There is specific areas that they've identified for this, and it's all funded through grant money. So each year, a transportation department is going out, and they are pushing to get this grant dollars. We started it in Bonita Springs. It was such a hit that we are trying to bring it to different areas. So we're identifying areas that it's harder to get to the main lines. And so we're finding them, and we're applying this transportation service there so that they can either get to the line or they will have a mode of transportation. So that's what we've done here. Lehigh's now, there's a part of Lehigh, there's a map, I'll if I don't have it in there, I'll get it for y'all. That there's a part of Lehigh that we just added, and we're looking to add part of Cape Coral too. And even in just recent meetings, we are having discussions of adding more bus lines on the Pine Island roadway. So that's coming on. Solid waste, we have a capital project coming on. So we are adding another facility. Public safety, that one is we're just trying to keep pace and add on more of our EMS services. And they are right now, if you notice, you'll see, you know, like one of our big rigs, they're at the firehouses. The firehouses aren't ours. The firehouses are their own. So we are working, we have an interlocal agreement with them that we can have some of our, you know, our rigs at these sites so that we can access people. Otherwise, right now with the buildings that we have, we won't be able to reach where we should for your safety to make it there in time and get you to your health services. So we have interlocal agreements to be at these firehouses, so we're closer. But so one of the capital projects is we have a few more coming online where we'll be able to provide more EMS care and service to you wherever you're located. Natural resources, they're expanding. So right now, our medical examiner's office and our natural resources office are right next to each other. Our medical examiner, we have an interlocal agreement with Hendry County. So we are the ME for Hendry County as well. So with our population growing, her work is also growing. So she needs more space. So she's moving into the natural resources office, and natural resources will have their own office and lab and all of the things. So they're the ones that are watching our Caloosahatchee, they're watching our shorelines, our water quality, our aquifers, and all of those things. So they're the ones that are out there in the field doing real time, and we have our own lab. So we don't have to send out our data. We have real time stuff happening. So that's what they're doing there. And then our libraries. If you haven't noticed, we've added a few libraries that have come online or we've done renovations. So that's some of the capital projects we're working on. And on that map that was there, if you go to our website, you can see where any of them are located. So if you want to see anything that's coming on, it'll give you a full overview of that project. Community development. So as you know, that one's a fun one. That is your building and permit services, code enforcement, development services, planning, zoning, and flood protection. So currently the DCD's average turnaround time for permits is about 15 days. So I think we're doing really good. It used to be much more, which is below the statutory requirements. So we are operating better than statutory requirements with our permitting process. So I'm very proud of that. Our permits process, we have about 63,000 permits processed just in the past year. 250,000 building inspections, about 15,000 enforcement actions, 30,000 in-person visits, and about 135,000 calls. Specific to Lehigh, 25% of those permits processed are in Lehigh. And enforcement, of the enforcement actions we have here, 49% of them are coming from Lehigh. And then building inspections, 48% are coming from Lehigh. So you can kind of see trends there that like we have some buildings coming online and we have some improvements happening out in Lehigh. So that's pretty huge, 48% countywide. We're doing a lot out here. And you also see on your table, I have a few out there about development on your table. If you want more information on it, I have extra flyers by the front, so please feel free to grab some. But it's just so if you want to dig in more and learn more information, please, community development. This is a big question we get from this area specifically. What do I do if I have a neighbor who is either struggling to keep up with certain things, or they built something out of code, you're not sure about the safety of this, and what do I do here? What is my, because we're unincorporated, we're not an HOA, what's the answer here? So we have code enforcement that comes along. They do all sorts of different things that you may see, that you may have a question about. If someone's operating a business in a residential building, like doing saw work, we get some of those phone calls in. This is what that is. So code enforcement, we have a website for it. You can go in. Now, there is a new statute that you cannot do it anonymously. You have to fill it out with your name, and you'll put this in. So step one, you have to check your location. And this doesn't even have to be your neighbor. It can be anywhere in Lehigh. If you're going around and you see something that needs to be said or reported, it can be a dumping site. If you see someone's dumping, commercial products into an empty lot, that's something you can report. We want to know about those things because the community is so huge, and we're just talking about Lehigh, and we're covering all of Lee County. So we ask, if you see something, say something. Let us know so we can get out there and we can help you. We can react. We can help clean up the areas. So code enforcement helps with that. So you go in, you're going to check the location, search for reporting, because even in there, you can see, is there already a code enforcement ticket active on this one? So it will show you if there's a status, if they've been through abatement, meaning that they've cleared the code. You may go, oh, it was cleared on this day, but I'm seeing it now on this day. Then you may want to submit another one. And then step 3 is you're going to file that complaint, and it's going to be at leagov.com/PCV/code and ENF. It's on the papers I gave you guys. It's all right there. If you have any questions, and 2, if you're uncomfortable with this, not being anonymous, I want you to know that you have a resource. You can call my office and you can talk to me about it and say, hey, I have a concern. I will come and drive out, or I will send someone from our offices and our team. We will come out and we will do it ourselves, and we'll check on whatever it is that your concern or need is. So please don't let that deter you. We want you to be involved. We want you to, help us keep Lee County as great as it is. So next one, the code enforcement. This is their process. So they get the complaint received. If there is a violation found, they then send a notice out to the property owner, which includes the description of the violation, a compliance deadline, and then contact information for code enforcement. And then from there, it'll go into a hearing process. So cases not brought into compliance. So that's only if this doesn't go past, if it goes past here. So if it's all remedied, it goes no further. Otherwise, it goes into a hearing process. So our hearing examiner in their office will then look into the case and see how they can be brought up to compliance from there. And then once compliance is achieved and verified, the compliance inspector will close the case. So, and that's how that goes. Solid waste. This is a big one. This is a fun one though. Lee County Solid Waste and its partners work continuously to keep Lehigh clean. Some of our efforts that we have is illegal dumping. So Solid Waste is also working with us on helping clean up these lots with illegal dumping that's going on. We have a dedicated task force as well that is made up from solid waste, code enforcement, natural resources, and part of our transportation. They are also all chipping in to define health. So they're conducting monthly inspections. They're doing cleaning sweeps as they're out and about. And then this is a cool fact, we had 484 illegal dumping cases in 2026 in Lehigh. So this is when I say, we need your help. There's a lot there. We need your help. Please let us know. Other information about solid waste, we have some strategic partnerships. It is the KLCB. That is our Keep Lee County Beautiful. We partner with them as a sustainable waste management, top-tier recycling program. It's also our waste-to-energy operations and community cleanups. Our key initiatives include the Keep Lee Plastic Free campaign and illegal dumping prevention. So they are constantly, that is their focus, is working on that. Our Lehigh Fire Department and the Florida Department of Health, they are also pushing out the sharps disposal program. So at no charge, residents can participate by going to fire departments or putting in requests for solid waste for sharps disposal, different things like that. So, all right, this is a fun one. This one may get some questions. Department of Transportation. This is my buddy, Rob Price. All right, so this is preparing for the future. What does that look like? As we know, we've had a lot of growth. and we're trying to catch up to it. And I promise you, we're going to catch up, and we're going to be ready not just for the catch up, but we are putting in things in place that will be ready for the next phase too. So we're not taking it lightly. We're not only catching up for now, we are also building into the next. So in our future growth road network, we prioritize all of these infrastructures in a tier system. We have tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. So the biggest one that we just had, we did it was transportation specific workshop. It was just on March 17th. So if you want to know kind of the direction the board is going with transportation and where things are standing, that's going to be a really great one to watch. It's on YouTube. You can find it on our website. And then, so sample of tier 1 projects that are going on right now. You have the Three Oaks Parkway extension happening. So that's the one that's going to connect all the way from Naples, and it's going to be, that already exists. The connection is from Alico to Daniels will finally connect on Three Oaks. So that will open up an artery there and alleviate some of that traffic off of Daniels. So that's actually almost done. I think we're expecting it to be done, the extension, I think by the end of fall 26. Nope, just kidding.
Right.
That update is in that workshop. Lehigh Acres paving program. So that's a program, if you don't already know, we do that every year. So the board has set aside, there's no sunset on it, as long as I'm there, that every year there is $5 million set aside for Lehigh only. This is for paving projects, resurfacing and paving. So we identify each year, we've already identified the roads for this year. We identify some roads that we're going to go in and resurface or pave. So there's different metrics that they use to pick these roads. It may be there is a bunch of permits coming online and homes are going to be developed on this one that we're going to put the road in. There is a lot of calls. There was one road recently that I brought to the board to move up the tiers. So it's going to be coming to the board for a vote on the, we're putting it out for a bid. Richmond, we're going in and we're going to resurface Richmond. So that was one that I was getting a lot of calls and tickets on at transportation that we were like, this one needs to be prioritized. So I asked my fellow commissioners if you could help me bump it up, and they helped me bump that up. So we're going to be doing that one really soon. That's in addition to the $5 million. That does not include the $5 million we already have. So these are some of the things that we're doing. We're trying to get it up where, one, we have everything paved out here and our roads are safe and they're up to date. So we are working on that. So stay tuned every year. Alico has a 4-lane connector. So this one is really exciting for y'all. I have a graph. It might be in there. If you don't know what that is yet, I'm sure you do. It's very exciting. So the Alico connector, we are still working on it. The PB&E is out. We are trying to get funding from the House and the state, from the state level. So this is going to connect Alico, and it's going to connect it all the way up to 82. So we will have a new artery coming online. People Lehigh and to the interstate much faster. So you'll have another way to get out of the area and have a new artery coming online. So that's one of those projects that's in the works right now. It's in tier 1. Go back one more time. Another update on that. Then we have bridge replacements that are going online. We have 3 bridge replacements. A really exciting one is the Cape Coral Bridge one. So this is one that we're bringing to. We're bringing it up to DC this summer for a grant program of $250 million. So the exciting part is if we get awarded that, it covers the bridge, and then it takes that money that we've set aside to do that, and it bumps it. We can put something else up from the other tier system into tier 1, and that puts them, when they're in tier 1, those are the ones we are pumping out. Tier 2, we're still figuring out the funding. Tier 3 is unfunded. So that's where we're at, but there are roads that we've identified that need to be done in the next few years. All right, next one. All right, some other exciting. So this is at Richmond. So this is Lehigh project update specific. Richmond, we are currently working on that procurement process. The resurfacing is expected to begin in June, July. So that will be in the summer, not during school. So So hopefully that will make it easier and we'll be ready to go. Project is expected to take about 60 days, weather permitting. We are in the rainy season at that time. Stay tuned. The weather permitting should only be 60 days. Lee Boulevard sidewalk repairs. The location is from State Road 82 to Sunshine Boulevard. And it's supposed to be starting after Easter. Sometime after Easter, we're fitting that online. Gunnery and Buffington roundabout is almost done. We are nearing completion. I think we just made an announcement of when we're expecting it to be done, and then we're going to do a ribbon cutting, either in person or virtual. We're going to figure that one out. It'll be really fun. But that's it right there. If you don't know, this is the aerial of your gunnery roundabout. It's quite beautiful. Thank you. The next is a Richmond Ave pedestrian bridge. We're trying to, that just completed. So if you haven't seen it yet, go check it out. A new temporary signal is at Buckingham and Cemetery. So the land acquisition for the permanent signal is underway. So that will be a permanent signal. And we're expecting that to start in early 2027. We have the temporary in, it will stay until we get the full one completed. No, go to the next one. Sorry. This is that Alico I was telling you about. This is where that is. So Alico right now, this is 75. Alico runs east to west. And then it's going to make a turn, head north, and then zag out, and it's going to almost reach right at Sunshine Boulevard. So you'll have the main collector Sunshine, and it will bring you right down to 82, where you can get to the Alico connector. And that will be another resource we can use to, if we have hurricanes we need to get out, we'll be able to use that. Just regular commuting times, we'll be able to use it. So, yeah.
The road currently exists. You guys
this one currently does not.
The one that goes past the last part of it.
Although it doesn't punch all the way through though.
You know, before they did the revamp on 82,
oh.
Right on the road. You have to go
yeah.
now, but it's still there.
Yeah, so there, I don't know if it's going to line up exactly with the current one. So they had to do a PD&E on it and to identify exactly where they're going to run it through. It may or may not be this exact what I have here too.
Okay.
So
it's similar, super similar.
That would be really cool. Yeah. Yeah. So that's that. There's phase 1 and phase 2. There's a phase 1A, phase 1B, phase 2, phase 3, and then additional. So phase 2 is that right there, we're next to Sunshine. So that will be very, very, very exciting. Okay, road surfacing. DOT uses the paving rating called overall condition index. That's that rating system I was talking about, how we identify the roads that we're going to pave each year. That determines the priority. The roads with the lowest OCI, we call the overall condition index, they are the ones that get prioritized first. The Lee County 10 million countywide for resurfacing, and Lehigh gets 5 million of that every year. Since the inflammation dedicated to it, we have now spent 51 million in Lehigh on resurfacing. And it's not number 51 because there's still some in project right now, so we don't count it until it's spent. So there's 44.16 total lane miles that are on the county's fiscal 2026 list of Lehigh local roads for resurfacing. So that's how many road miles we've identified in Lehigh to do. Okay. Request for actions. This one is, I'm going to ask you guys for your help more than anything. This is your roads. If you see something, say something. I found out about a pothole out here from the news. I reached out to my assistant and I reached out to our departments and I said, guys, have you seen this? Did anyone get a call on this? And no one had a call. It was one that this guy, bless his heart, I do love his ingenuity, put bricks in the potholes to fill them. We want to fill them. We want to come out here and do it. We can do it. It's in our budget that we're going to be doing these no matter what. If you see something, say something. We have the RFA, which is our request for action. You can do it on, it's very easy, legov.com/RFA, request for action. The high priority levels are ones that require immediate action. So there's a strong possibility to harm to human life, severe damage to property. So a lot of these hospitals that are out here definitely qualify. One has already been harmed. So if you or someone you know, like, went off the side of, like, even the road, like some of the sides where they start to, like, underneath fall out and you fall out, that's one of those things you can call in. Please do. We want to fix those. And then 5% of their requests that come through come in this category. And I want to say 5% because we're not getting as many requests through this site. Some of these are ones that we're identifying as county staff, so we need your help to identify them out here. Routine work, that goes into the medium. So they're always going to be out here. They're going to be doing some that they've identified. That goes into the medium category. So, like, when you call them in, they get bumped up over the routine work. So let us know. The low, that's just our housekeeping. So things that we see, like when the, different parts of the roads are kind of falling off, if we can get it before they become serious, we're already, like, plotting those out for later. Quality of life things, these are the fun ones. One of my favorite programs that we have is our Human and Veteran Services. What they are doing is truly incredible and unique, and I love everything they're doing. So I've provided a little card with you today that gives you a little more of, like, how you can help your neighbor. We offer financial assistance, homelessness assistance, and veteran assistance. So assistance, that's electric assistance. If you or someone you know is in a financial crisis where you might not be able to pay the electric bill this month, please call. We want to help. We want to make sure that you can keep the lights on. So that's what we're here. That's what that's for. We're here for that. The rent or mortgage assistance, if you're struggling, please call. If you know someone that's struggling and maybe too proud, you can also reach out for them, and we will try to make the connection. Down payment assistance. So, and then housing rehab assistance. So those that are coming out of maybe a program or that need a place to go while they're in a program, we also help with that. Our homelessness assistance, that's coordinated entry. So we are making connections out in the communities where we also need your help too. If you see someone out there that is homeless, please reach out. Our main office is downtown Fort Myers, so they may not be out here as often. We do have someone that comes from HBS that meets in one of our rec center, and he will be there. He's, I think, every Thursday. He's out here talking with veterans and residents. So we do have that, but we can't be here as much as you are living, working, and playing out here. So if you see someone that's out here that needs help, please call it in. And that way we can get them connected to some coordinated entry programs and get them on the right path. It's not a handout, it's a hand up. We really want to make sure everybody has an opportunity to thrive. We have called our housing outreach and treatment teams. And then as you on that little card, if you help us out and you call these in, you become a part of, like, that team by identifying those that need assistance. Veteran assistance. We have appointments for veterans that are seeking assistance for benefits on the second Friday of each month from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the East Lee County Library. So if you don't already know, that's there and it's available to you. It's in addition to what the Veterans Hospital and Clinic is already providing for veterans. So if there is something that there's a gap missing there, come and see what we can do. See if there's anything that we can fill that gap and help you. Our Parks and Rec. This is a fun one. We have 31,500 acres of parks, preserves, and other facilities in that. So that means we have 4 recreation centers, 10 community centers, 4 year-round pools, 7 boat ramps, sports complex. Our Boston Red Sox falls underneath that, sorry. And our Minnesota Twins. And then we have our dog-friendly facilities, and then we have our coastal beach park. So that's all in that $31,500 in that. Some really exciting, if you've heard about our Conservation 2020 program, this is kind of a breakdown of what all that looks like. This includes not just county preservation, but also private preservation, developer required preservation, state. So how it breaks down is we have about 32,000 Conservation 2020 land. So those ones are specifically put into that program. We have about 13,000, and these are acres, sorry, 13,000 acres of county non-conservation 2020. Those are still different, like conservation land. They're just not put into conservation yet. Federally, we have about 8,000 acres. Citywide, we have 800 acres. State has 57,000 acres. Nonprofits also add to this. They have about 3,800. And then our private developer required. So if you don't know, there's there was a bill that went through that requires a lot of these developers, the larger the communities they get, they have to set aside part of that land into conservation preservation. So that's what that is. That is that developer required land. And we have about 29,000 acres of that adds to it. So for a total of all the conservation land in Lee County, we have about 142,000 acres of conservation land. And that makes up 27% of all of the land in Lee County is in conservation. Our Lehigh Parks and Recs update. So Able Canal, if you don't know, we have stuff happening there. We are grubbing and clearing work within the project corridor. It's still underway. The work on the pedestrian bridge spanning Charlie Diversion Canal has begun. Our project is on track to be completed during the late summer of next year. So not this summer, next summer. The Frank Mann Preserve, the design phase of the first phase of Lancet's flood control and water quality treatment project is well underway. Parks and Recs will be installing some fencing adjacent to this entrance to the preserve in the next month or so. So we're kind of working in tandem and team on that one. Some of the idea, the use is going to be kind of a groundwater recharge, and then they'll be utilizing it when we have too much water on the Caloosahatchee. They're going to pump it into the preserve. And if, things are getting too flooded here, we're going to pump it out. So it's part of Lampstead's little bit of plan there. And then we're also part of that where we're trying to figure out how to do maybe some sort of park or passive park built into it, but stay tuned. We're still figuring out all of those plans. Quality of life more, Parks and Recs and Lehigh efforts. We are completely remodeling the restroom services at the ball fields at Lehigh Acres, and they're almost done. They are nearing completion right now. A grading and drainage project designed to improve the playability of soccer field number 4 at Lemuel Teal Middle School is scheduled to begin in April. The design phase of a project involving the development of recreational amenities at West Marsh Preserve is slated to begin later this year. The upcoming spring and summer events, if you don't know about this, please definitely share the word. First, we do our egg hunt at the Veterans Park Rec Center, which I'm sure you guys know that one. But we have a summer camp program through our Parks and Recs that is tremendous, and it's affordable. It is only $85 a child per week. Right now, as a mom of 3, I've seen some they're asking $200 to $300 a week per child. This is incredible. If you don't know and your friends don't know, please share. The registration is already open. The Estero Rec Center has sold out in 10 minutes of being open. There's still other ones available, so please get plugged in. This is how, if you want to know what's coming online in the neighborhood near you, you see a lot being cleared, or you see a sign going up and you go, what's going on there? This is where you can find it, LeeCountyBusiness.com. You go to that website, you're going to get this map, and it's going to show you all of the new projects and developments coming online. And you can click to any one there that you see that you will have an interest in and get to learn more about it. So that's available to you. It's all public record. You'll be able to know, and maybe you'll have something like I call them conversation pieces sometimes when you go places, like, did you hear what's going on over there? So that's there. And these are all, though, now, these are unincorporated Lee County. I can't speak for the municipalities. They may have their own, but this is specific to Lee County unincorporated, what's going on. Additional things, we are, as a Board of Commission, some of our priorities right now are making sure when it comes to our quality of life and our recreation, we want to make sure we're having open spaces. We want to make sure that we have these wildlife, we're protecting them. Our clean water, we want to protect our waterways. We want to also the flowways. If you don't know, we're looking to restore with a lot of the conservation projects we're using them to restore the original flowways from Lake Okeechobee so that we aren't having as much water quality issues as we've had in the past. We can restore back what was original to our, our state. And then it just provides a whole lot. The groundwater recharge, our aquifers can come back online better. It just restores everything back to the natural way that it's meant to flow and work. Oh, sorry, go back to that one. And then, speaking of that, natural resources, they play a large part in this. So they're doing our water quality monitoring, surface water, pollution prevention, groundwater and well construction. So they, and along with South Florida Water Management, are the ones that you'll be talking with if you come online and you need a well. They're the ones you have to go to. There is capital improvement projects for flowways and flood mitigation. So I talked about this a little bit. Two of the prime ones that we're looking to use is the Larry Kiker Preserve and the 10-mile canal. So the 10-mile canal was identified as a flood mitigation project. So we're kind of using that. And then there's going to be, and then Larry Kiker works with that as well, that we're looking to put a berm in. If you didn't know, during some of the storms, not only did Lehigh flood, but also Bonita Springs. And that was new, where we didn't quite understand where is this coming from, why is this happening all of a sudden. So the board had a study out to figure out where a flood mitigation plan, and we identified some areas that needed addressing immediately, and that's where the 10-mile canal and Larry Kiker Preserve came in. We're looking to build a massive berm, land berm, that will go in and it will catch some of this water. It's along that border of Larry Kiker Preserve. It'll catch the water before it reaches Bonita Springs and floods them out. We're also doing different works in the 10-mile canal where we are clearing along the edges of the banks. We're clearing out the banks. We're dredging to bring them back to where they can hold at just regular rainwater. They were not doing well for rainwater. So we're just trying to bring them back online so they can sustain our regular flowways. So I'm sure you've seen in the last few years, you get a bad storm and all of a sudden you've got water in your front yard. This is part of that. So we're working really hard on getting that, to catch back up. Some exciting things with utilities. They are spearheading our research and they foster partnerships to look at the best way to provide clean water to residents. So our regional source water study for Lehigh is a comprehensive water supply study for Lehigh Acres Public Water Supply, and it covers northern Green Meadows Wellfield to Hendry County line. So that is bound by LCU service area limits to the northwest, State Road 80 to the south. Groundwater modeling to assess interdependency between Lehigh Acres and LCU service areas. Our study objectives and South Florida water management involvement. It was our access to aquifer performance via test wells. We were trying to determine the optimal placement of additional production wells, evaluate impacts on shallower aquifers, and then the South Florida Water Management District has identified historic low water levels as a critical issue in southeastern Lehigh, where sandstone aquifer has fallen below the maximum developmental limits. So they've identified, I think it's a 5-mile radius on the southeast side of Lehigh that we can no longer use that aquifer for irrigation. So anybody coming online now will not be able to use that for irrigation. They would only be able to use it for the regular essentials. If you wanted to tap into irrigation, you'll have to go into the deep well, which is very costly. So we've identified some of these urgent things that we're going to start looking into and figuring out how do we address this. How do we make sure that you guys always have access to water and clean water? The benefits for Lehigh residents on this is we're providing solutions for connecting more customers to municipal water and ensuring long-term water sustainability for Lehigh. So there are things out there. We are looking into it. We are trying to figure it out. I know you've heard the scary things that are happening in Cape Coral, but we are trying to find other different creative ways. We have a pilot program right now happening in Billy Creek, where we've identified that some of their septic tanks were some of the older ones and they were leaking into the Caloosahatchee and whatnot and providing more waste and pollution. And we were able to get grant money to do a full septic septic to sewer conversion turnkey for the residents. So this is a pilot program we're looking at. We're trying to explore more of these opportunities so that we can kind of apply it to these areas that we're identifying that are having these issues. So stay tuned. We are working on it and we're trying to find it so it is more affordable and it's accessible to the average Joe like myself and you all. Like it is real. I hear you. What happened in Cape Coral is very scary. We don't want that here. I don't want that here. So we're going to explore every option that we can. All right, staying engaged. This is, if you don't already know how to find us, we do have social media. Woo! We are on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. If you have anything that you want to learn about, if you just go to our website, legov.com, it immediately brings you up to the landing page. You can put your name and address in, and it will tell you who your House rep is. It'll tell you who your state senator is. It'll tell you who your county commissioner is. It'll tell you who your school district representative is. All of this information. It'll not just tell you who they are, it'll give you the contact information. It'll give you anything that you need to know what's going on and that's specific to your address. So if you go there, it will open up that, and then you can get to all of these things that we've talked about tonight, all on the website. One of the things, the resident tool information. That is, it also includes, evacuation zones, trash days, flood zones. So that's another thing that you can find right there, just putting your name in. So very exciting. If you have any questions, I'm going to open it up to you all. I know I've been talking very much. And then I've got some brains here with me that if you have specific questions about what's going on and maybe projects that are coming online, they'll be able to dig into more of the details with you too. Yeah. Oh, yeah. What
Heard about that?
I have.
We see designs of the development they want to put in on the fairways.
Mm-hmm.
The contamination of the fairways, chemicals that they put in. Because I understand they were going to have to take 3 to 4 feet out. Mm-hmm. But I heard the rumor is they want to raise it 3 or 4 feet higher than what our property is. Mm-hmm. So I bordered the old fifth fairway. Mm-hmm. So where the water's going to go, right, underneath. And then our drainage system is tied through to the golf course and into their ponds. And with the redevelopment of that, well, what are we going to do with that round? And there's so many problems there. I just look at development. Good development is a heck of a lot better than poor development. So that's my
Thank you. I appreciate it. Reach out to me. I'll get you whatever information I can. There is something, I'll be fully transparent. If there is something that hasn't come to our dais yet, that may require a zoning change or is in the process of trying to do that. There is statute that I can't speak on those because it may tell one side or the other, but I've already made my decision before it's made it to my dais. They call it ex parte. So I can't discuss some of those things as much as I would love to, but I can get you connected with right resources to find the answers that you need on those things. So please reach out. If I can't answer it, I will find the answer for you or connect you with someone that can.
Thank you for everything that you gave. Information on it is tremendous. with the work you guys are doing with the water and the quality of life, is there talk of having FTUA go away and the county take over as a utility, or what's the status of that?
That's a really good question. So as far as I know, there hasn't been conversations yet on that. I know there has been a lot of requests from the community about that and the status and the possibility of it. Part of the water study that I referred to earlier kind of flushes out some of those to give us direction on what's the next steps. We haven't started that conversation, but I am hearing you. And we can definitely start opening that if that's what the community is interested in doing, but it's a long process that everybody has to be willing to come to the table. But I have heard that that is something that the community is interested in. So, yeah. Yes, sir.
Thank you for a great presentation. I was taking some notes.
Yeah.
And some of the interesting things that you mentioned. Because I work with a nonprofit community-based organization for community development.
Well, thank you.
And one of the things that I took notes on was that you had a transportation service plan, and you also dealt with the Department of Transportation.
Our Lee County Department of Transportation is underneath us.
Yes.
We don't do FDOT. We work with FDOT. That's one of our partners. So anything that's a county road that falls under our jurisdiction, anything that's a state road will go to them. You guys don't have a city, so that wouldn't apply to a municipality. But we don't have a service plan per se. We just we provide that service, and then we have the additional one, the ultra mobility on demand that we provide.
That's the one that you said that's a, if I wanted to go to the airport, yeah.
You would have to live in that area.
Okay.
I can get you the map of it. We have brochures on it, but you have to live in that area. They identified areas that weren't getting enough transportation access as it was. So it was to add another, but we're looking, I love this idea. It's grant funded. Each year we are applying for the grant to keep bringing on more communities. It's been very successful.
Now, you see, my community development program is based on sports, and we operate out of Veteran Park Academy. The biggest issue for us are the kids that cannot get there because of the lack of transportation. And it's a big issue. It's a big problem. One of the biggest reasons why the kids can't come here to do the programs is that they can't get there, and that's transportation. Now, how can I work with that? What can I do with that?
I would say we need to figure out on the map where these folks fall into.
Okay.
This new program is so new, they may fall into that.
Okay.
That might be part of that coverage.
Okay.
Because the goal was with our transportation was that it was I think it's a mile is the maximum distance to get to the transportation. So everything should be within a mile.
Oh.
And then if they were outside of that, therefore mobility on demand came into play. Okay. So definitely check, see if they fall into that new category where we're accessing and providing more service to.
Okay.
And if not, reach out to my office and we'll figure out how to get it.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. One more question, please.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. I was just off Sunshine, and I noticed that they had some markers there. Are they lighting Sunshine in the plan?
Rob, what's the update on Sunshine?
So the segment from 82 North 23rd is phase 3 of that Eco Connector project. We're going to be 4-laning that segment as a part of that project. That's the last phase that we bring in. We're going to be obviously introducing some more traffic to the Eco Connector. So, and then we have additional phases from 23rd to Boulevard and 75th. We have a new project to extend it all the way to Palm Beach. That is in our tier 2 and tier 3. So, but as we move through tier 1 and funding starts to become available, we'll look to start sliding other phases of Sunshine in to address the added traffic that we're going to have.
Yeah.
I ride a bicycle a lot. And there's an 18-inch, we have on Sunshine
they started making a sidewalk from Lee Boulevard on down. Are they going to continue that all the way to 82?
As we do this project, it will include sidewalks on one side and shared use path on the other side. So every new capital project that we do includes pathways on both sides of the road. And that one is like all the others.
Yeah.
So we will include sidewalks.
82 is beautiful. Once I can get to 82, I can go in almost anywhere. But getting to 82 is kind of
Understood.
Oh, yeah.
thank you.
What he was saying, I'm assuming storm drain pipes and everything, as well. We're not using these little swale roads and ditches and stuff anymore.
So one of the features of the Alico Connector project, especially the Sunshine portion, is the road, as you know, is adjacent to a canal for Lancet that Lancet owns. We need properties from Lancet so we can widen the road. So we've been working with Lancet. There's going to be an agreement that's going to come to Lancet's board and then to our board soon to work out the exchange of the right of way. Part of that agreement allows us to drain into the canal. So what we're going to do is we're going to widen the canal to its maximum width. We're going to get more capacity in it. We're going to replace some of the aging weirs that are in that canal system so that we can do a better job of managing the water out there in partnership with Lancet. And they're going to give us the property that we need for the whole stretch of Sunshine Boulevard widening. And we're going to keep that. One of the great features of it is we're going to get to use the fill that we take out of the canal when we widen it to help us build the road. So instead of us having to go pay a mining operator millions of dollars to get fill, we're going to take the fill out of the canal so that we can help build the road cheaper.
That's great.
And that's a part of tier 2 and 3, so we have to get funding for that.
Tier 1 is the base from Sunshine or from 82 to the 23rd.
Okay.
That's going to be it. But we're going ahead and set the table now with the right-of-way agreement with Lancet. That'll give us the right-of-way all the way north to 75th where it stops today.
Yes. My question is, where we have Joel and Tuckahoe, is there anything in the tiers currently working on that? I'm super excited about the school going in. But I know that that's going to be an obstacle. Do we have anything in the tiers for that yet?
Yes. Joel Boulevard is in tier 2. Widening of Joel Boulevard is in tier 2. We are partnered with the school district on their project for the high school. There's rumors abound that the elementary school that is being accommodated on that site may be coming up to design in the not too distant future, maybe next year. So
Middle school is going to go in.
I believe it's an elementary, but I could be saying either way. There's another school site on that property. Yeah. They're working with us and they're working with the water management district on plans to eventually widen the stretch of Joel along their frontage. One of the things that was important as we were working with the school district is we didn't want to come in 4-lane Joel when the schools are open and kids are coming to school and start causing problems for the school operations once they're open and established. So they're working on, they've already done a right-of-way exchange with us for the additional property, and they're going to actually build a 4-lane improvement along their frontage, including water management. So it's going to be really exciting because then we're just tying in and we're not going to really impact the operation of the school once it's open.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any more questions? No more questions. Thank you so much.
I wanted to say thank you for having me, and thank you, Armor Persons, for the relationship that we have grown, because we being able to be in the same district and work together, we can really accomplish a lot. Like he was talking about, working with the school district to kind of help with our infrastructure, it goes a long way. So thank you for that, and thank you for you guys being out in the community, plugging in, helping to educate, get the word out, and then just helping us also. If you need something, say something. One last thing I wanted to tell you that's very exciting. So not only with the Alico Connector coming online, one of our developers that is coming in, if you've heard of Kingston Ranch, and I talked with Mr. Camerata, he's okay with me sharing the information tonight. Kingston Ranch is building an artery that is going to go from Corkscrew Road, and it's going to go all the way up to 82. So we're going to have not only the artery that comes down to 82, or the Alico that's going to go, you're also going to have another one, and it's going to be on the furthest east side. So from Lehigh, you'll be able to get down to Corkscrew as well. And part of what their promise was, as they're building and coming online with this community, they're putting the spine road in first before they put housing in. So you're going to have these roadways accessible to you before they start building out the rest of the program. So watch for that. It's going to be really exciting. And not only that, but they're also bringing real jobs to our area. They're looking and talking about bringing healthcare facilities, shopping facilities, and different things. So we're really hoping that it will help bring more jobs and make it accessible out here. Our data showed we had 120,000 residents in Lehigh alone, and 70,000 of them are commuting inward for jobs every single day. So the more that we can bring out to Lehigh, even if it's a restaurant, I would like to drive a little less to go to a restaurant. So these are some of the things that are coming. Stay tuned. It's very exciting, but they've already built part of the road. So that one's going to come very quickly, and that's going to be a huge resource to us. So pay attention to that one. Very exciting. Again, thank you for having me.